Thank you for downloading this episode of the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show on the CLEsound.com. Also on Twitter, you can follow me, Glenn Moore, CLE. You got Mr. Steve Guy, co-host here.
The Steve Guy on the Twitter.
And you can go on iTunes, and you can subscribe to our feed. Every week we'll put out a show, and you can listen to our past shows, interviews, Jerry the King Lawler, Ethan Carter III, Seth Rollins. We'll be talking about that in this episode. You can go back on there also at the website, CLEsound.com, get all the updates from our show and the other shows on the network. So thank you for downloading, and enjoy the show. Welcome to this week's episode of the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. I am Glenn Moore with my co-host in the captain's chair here in the studio, Mr. Steve Guy. Mr. Guy, how are you?
Yeah.
Macho Man. You are the man with the impersonations.
Yeah, I mean,
You've
somebody
done many.
has to be on
You've
the
done
show.
many on the show.
Yeah.
So let me hear your best Macho Man impersonation on the spot here.
Oh, man, that's tough.
Ooh, yeah, Glenn Moore. I'm here today on the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. This is gonna be madness, macho madness. Steve Guy, Glenn Moore in the house with the Hall of Famer.
That was pretty good. You even did
Thank
the
you.
hand. You got
I
the
was doing the hand.
going.
Nobody
You
could
did
see that on the radio,
They can't.
but, you know.
can't. But you were doing it. I give
Yeah.
that a 7.5.
Thank you.
Pretty good. A little
Yeah.
more intensity.
Yeah, I
A
got.
little more cocaine.
Well, yeah, needed to. Listen, that gives you heart attacks while you're driving a Jeep.
Plenty of topics to
soon.
talk about. We'll talk about Macho Man.
Yeah.
Finally going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And Hulk Hogan will be inducting him, which is, I think, it's a terrible choice in my eyes. We'll talk about that. Also, there's brand new announced teams, which affects our good buddy of the show, Jerry the King Lawler.
It does.
Moving from Raw to SmackDown. Booker T, Sucky Ducky, going to be on Raw.
Yeah.
SmackDown moving to Thursdays. We'll recap Raw as well. But the first main news that we want to talk about is obviously Macho Man. I know he's passed away a few years ago. Can't celebrate this. I know his brother's big about his brand, and
Yeah.
they didn't want him to be inducted if the whole family wasn't going to be inducted. So that obviously was squashed. But still, great to see Macho Man going to be headlining this year's class.
Yeah, it's excellent. I mean, this was a long time coming. Still waiting to hear about those rumors that whether they were true or not, and that's why he was left
What rumors?
out.
What? Which ones?
I don't want to do this again. You already know the McMahon family. If
hate
they
the
ever
show.
listen,
They hate
they
it.
would hate me.
What
I will
are the
never be
rumors? What are the
invited.
rumors? Steve Guy. This is Steve Guy talking, by the way, with these rumors, not me. Go ahead. Go ahead, buddy.
There was a rumor that Macho Man may have addressed on his rap album about not exactly courting Stephanie McMahon, but teaching her about the birds and the bees. With
Jeez, Steve.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. While she was underage.
Can we just, really put out the word allegedly? Into
Allegedly,
that, please?
it was. That's why it's a rumor.
All right,
Rumors
it's
are
a
always
rumor.
allegedly.
There's rumors of him doing drugs, too, and all this negative. But it's not about the negative stuff, Steve.
It's about the positive.
Why'd you bring up the negative stuff? It's the
I'm
positive. Slim Jims, rap music, being a part of the NWO, great matches,
Spider-Man.
ready to rumble.
Ready to run. That's not a positive. That's a negative.
He was in the movie.
Yeah, but the movie itself was
That
a
was a
negative.
good movie.
You would think so.
It was a great movie.
He was better in Spider-Man,
No.
throwing Tobey Maguire around. Wouldn't we all like to?
But it's been so long. It's like last year with Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
He should have been in a lot sooner. Macho Man obviously passed away, having I think a heart attack driving into a tree. That's the way
Well, he
he
hit
went.
the tree because he was driving. Or because he had the heart
Heart
attack
attack while he was
driving.
driving.
Yes, yeah.
So obviously his family, his brother, has been big. Really loud about how he is perceived in WWE. The two, his brother and WWE coming to an agreement. But the one thing that I love the Macho Man, and I think JR said it great in his blog, is that people shouldn't be complaining about why it took so long. They should be happy that's happening now.
That it is finally happening.
I think that's great. But the one thing I don't agree about, I want your take, is Hulk Hogan going to be inducting him. And there's been some rumors we always talk about these rumors that Hogan and Macho Man didn't get along. They didn't like each other too much. If Macho Man was still alive, this wouldn't fly.
They were back and forth. Now, oddly enough, I actually listened to a different wrestling podcast. Not really a wrestling podcast, but I listened to the Hulk Hogan interview on Talk is Jericho.
Okay.
And Hogan mentioned that they patched things up. And like a month or the week after or something that Randy died, they were supposed to have dinner at Randy's family's house, like his mother's house or something, down in Florida. And they were supposed to all get together because Hogan was going to bring his new wife and everything. When Hogan had surgery on his back and everything, he hadn't seen Macho Man in a little while. Macho Man just showed up at the hospital and it was like, "Oh yeah, Hogan, what's going on, Terry?" And then they patched things up. It sounded like, and they were working towards it. I mean, there was a point in time where they definitely were great buddies.
I believe that, but would Hogan be the perfect guy if
it's the Mega Powers?
Yeah, I know, but it's all about.
But here's the thing: who else is going to do it? I mean, his brother, okay,
yeah,
but when you have these inductions,
maybe Ricky,
when you have these posthumous
Ricky Steamboat
inductions,
could possibly do it.
That would probably be a really good one, actually. But what's he going to talk about beyond one match?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think.
Maybe you could have the Sheik do it. Macho Man, I love you forever, Bubba.
They would never have the Sheik give a Cheetah mic on live television. Never.
I would love it.
The thing with Hogan is, I think this is more of a ploy to get people to watch.
I mean, Miss Elizabeth can't do it.
Obviously, dude. She's next. She needs to come in. She's going next.
Sure.
You got to have her come in this year.
Yeah, then Lex Luger can induct her.
Oh, no.
Too soon?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No. Gee, Steve, you're just on a negative roll today.
All right, I'm sorry.
Every day, every show, there's some kind of negative coming from you.
Nonsense.
Some kind.
What?
But with Hogan, I think you're right. The options are limited.
Yeah.
But if Macho was still alive, you'll probably pick someone else. The thing is, WWE kind of picks their own guy for that. I know Jerry the King Lawler wanted someone else, someone local in Memphis to induct him. No one really knows who he is, but they said we got to go with someone else that has a little more notoriety, a little more, pull to their name to kind of get people to watch the show. So obviously Hogan inducting Macho Man is going to move a lot of heads and wondering what Hogan's going to say. So I get that, but still, all those rumors and whatnot, if they're true, if they're not true, even though Warrior and Hogan, shook hands, you can kind of tell that was kind of like, is that real? Is that just stage for the cameras? It's a good story, but who knows? But still, ultimately, it's a great honor.
According to that interview, that conversation was, you mentioned on Jericho's show that the conversation was longer than what you saw on the Ultimate Warrior special.
Yeah.
That they actually did talk for some time as well.
Well, I think it's because the cameras didn't come until a little bit.
Right, that's what he said.
The cameras were going by.
They definitely didn't pick up everything.
Yeah, and then they realized the cameras were there, and then they, So I'm sure maybe a little bit for the cameras, but I'm sure Warrior would like to still kind of.
Well, Hogan definitely said that there was some conversation that they had that they didn't want the cameras around for. So,
yeah.
But they hashed things out. It's good.
Which is great.
Look at Terry Bollea.
Now, who's next? Who should be inducted next? I vote for Vader. I'm in big with Vader being inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame, the big mastodon, a big guy, 400-plus pounds, can do a moonsault off the top rope. That's very athletic.
Yeah.
A guy has won numerous titles, didn't win any titles in WWE, WWE champion, but WCW, he was big, overseas. Just I got to vote for Vader. You? Who's your guy?
For this year or for in general?
This year, right now. Next week on Raw.
See, I think it's going to be like an older guy because you always have these throwbacks that our generation didn't get to watch. Guys from like the 60s.
This year, celebrity.
We're running out of them, aren't we? Cyndi Lauper's in. Mike Tyson's in. I mean, Drew Carey's in.
Bob Uecker's in.
Pete Rose is in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of running out of the celebrities at this point. I don't really know.
Hugh Jackman.
No, not huge. Kathy Lee and Hoda Kotb are going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. That's how that's going to go down.
The one thing about Macho Man, and I think our new producer for the show, we got to give her a shout out. We always give a shout out to the producer. Ryan can't be here today. He's out doing big things. Rebecca is producing our show today. The thing is, you probably would have asked Rebecca, who I don't think is the biggest wrestling fan, do you know who Macho Man Randy Savage is? And I would predict, let's predict, do you think she would know who Macho Man Randy Savage is?
Yeah.
If she's not a big wrestling fan?
Yeah, because all those Slim Jim commercials.
Exactly. People, think about these wrestlers who are inducted. Ultimate Warrior. I don't think on the same scale as Macho Man because Warrior wasn't really out there as Macho on a non-wrestling platform.
Right.
But like John Cena, The Rock, Hogan, and now Macho Man, these guys are bigger than wrestling. People who don't watch wrestling, who don't like wrestling, they still know who Macho Man is, who Hulk Hogan is. I think that's what ultimately the Hall of Fame is about, is these guys reaching beyond wrestling and putting their names out there and promoting the brand larger than, you know, who people know who Bray Wyatt is or Ricky Steamboat.
Oh man, Bray Wyatt in the house tonight. Bray Wyatt's happy that Macho Man, my brother man, Macho, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Do you think Rebecca knows who Macho Man is?
I don't know. Rebecca, just shout if you know who Macho Man is.
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
there.
How about
So
that?
she knew.
From the Slim Jim commercials.
See that?
There you
she
go.
knew because of Slim Jim
But the thing is,
commercials.
people know who Macho Man is. You know, they don't watch wrestling. And the one thing that's great about Macho Man, before I move on, where was he born? Where was he from?
Well, I know that he was billed from Pensacola, Florida.
Okay, but where was he? If you the main guy from Ohio, sorry Miz, sorry Ziggler, main guy from Ohio. If you put a map together and put run wrestler with each state,
Yeah.
Macho Man Randy Savage from Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
Get out of town.
You did not know that?
I didn't
Look it
know.
up. Look
I didn't
it
know
up.
Randy Puffa was from.
Look it up. That's where he was born. So
Oh,
Ohio boy getting into the Hall of Fame, which is great.
wonderful.
All right, I'm a little bit ticked off.
Yeah,
All right,
sense that.
Jerry the King Lawler is in the hospital. Missed Raw. I think not this past week, but this other week.
Yeah.
He, he's better. He went down to Florida, a little vacation. He's going to be on Smackdown. That's why I'm kind of ticked off, is because they changed the announce teams. Now, you and I are at the same age. We've watched Raw since we were 13, 14 years old.
Jerry
For
Lawler
years.
is Raw.
JR and Jerry the King Lawler,
Yeah.
they are Monday Night Raw. Jerry Lawler, obviously everybody knows, listen to this podcast, has been moved to SmackDown on Thursday nights. There was a time where it was Paul Heyman and Jim Ross when Jerry quit
Right.
because Stacey, the cat,
The cat. Yeah.
they got rid of her. So he's like, well, if you get rid of her, I'm leaving.
Yes.
He came back like a year later. But when you think of Monday Night Raw, even though JR's on there, you still have the King. You still have that voice
Yep.
that has been since my childhood. And I'm pissed that they're moving him to SmackDown. I don't watch SmackDown. I don't
boisterous
care
you
about
are.
SmackDown. I don't watch it. And now he's with Brian Sexton or Saxton, whatever his name is, and Michael Cole.
perhaps that's the point, is so that you do watch SmackDown,
No, I mean,
right?
no, I'm not going to.
People watch Raw just to watch Raw because it's the staple show.
Right. It's
But
live.
they want
it's-
people to watch SmackDown. So now someone like yourself might be like, I'm going to see how Jerry's doing on SmackDown. And now they've got you.
But now they got Booker T on Raw.
Yeah.
Sucky ducky.
Yeah.
Quack quack. Terrible choice.
He's not. It wasn't very good
He's awful.
on Monday when I watched it.
JBL is awful.
JBL and King is the combination. That's actually I love.
And King?
No, Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler.
Wait a minute.
Jerry Lawler.
JBL and
JBL.
Jerry- no.
Not like by themselves, but
Oh.
with Cole when you do the trio. Like you have Cole being like the straight guy calling the match and whatnot, and then just the comments that Jerry Lawler and JBL would have feeding off of each other. That was enjoyable for me.
I hated it.
I liked it. I
JBL
loved
is
that.
terrible. JBL is good for one line a show.
That's why you needed Jerry
One
Lawler with
line?
him.
Jerry Lawler, you watch old Raw, or he's spitting gold, man. Comedic gold.
He's not allowed to have those lines anymore. Sadly, a lot of them.
But you can't because he's a good guy.
Well, right.
All his great stuff is when he was a heel.
Yeah.
Or ripping on JR.
Yeah,
ripping on
yeah.
Cole. Now Cole's a bad guy, but
You could still rip on Cole. It doesn't matter.
yeah, but Jerry would rip on other wrestlers, and they don't do that anymore because it's all PG. You can't say anything bad. You can't be over dramatic as the bad guy. It's all good, more goody goody, which is terrible.
It's definitely going in an interesting thing.
Do you like the
Way.
move?
No, I don't. I mean, but listen, I have not been happy with the direction that it's going for some time.
Yeah.
Look, here's my favorite part about Monday Night Raw that happened, and I tweeted this out. John Cena comes out to open the show and says, "My plan to get my friends back into the WWE that got fired is to win the title and then go home and not defend it and not show up on any shows." As if Monday Night Raw would not exist if the champion didn't show up every single week or defend his title on pay-per-view. Gosh, John, it sounds eerily familiar.
This writing it's awful.
Yeah, don't make a threat that you're just going to keep having happen what's already happening with the current champion.
It's the writing they want you to forget things that happened 2 months ago. There's no continuation of other storylines or other programs to where they think they were stupid. It's built for little kids that don't remember things that happened 3 months ago.
Yeah. I do appreciate the fact that they still picked right back up with Daniel Bryan and Kane.
Yeah.
I do like that Dean Ambrose, yeah, he was in an ambulance, but now quickly he's back with Roman Reigns and they're going after Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Could appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't... I don't know. It was a bad Raw. It really was. But do you think part of it has to do with competing with the national championship football game, the college football game?
No, they don't care about that.
I mean, a contract signing, everybody knows that's the weakest ending in the world. You know what's going to happen.
They
Someone's going to
don't
end up
care
at a
about
table, one
national
guy's going to stand. It's terrible.
Because they know their demographic is kids.
Yeah, but there's a lot of kids going to be watching a football game, especially college.
Not Ohio State, Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, they're
kids?
No. Kids are going to watch it for the cool uniforms. All right.
You got to be kidding me.
No.
Anybody outside of
adult.
Ohio and Oregon didn't really care about that game.
Oh, I think it got huge ratings.
It did, because Ohio. Cleveland, Columbus, when something's going on Cleveland-wise, you know it's going to get big numbers. People are watching it like crazy.
All right, Glenmore.
But I'm saying it's just awful, and it's hard to watch sometimes. And it was even harder to watch not hearing Jerry on, which I'm still ticked off about it. That means when Raw comes to town, Jerry isn't going to be here.
Who are you going to hang out with?
I'm not going to be backstage.
Let's get to the bottom of this, folks. And there it is, right there.
No.
And there it is.
No.
And the truth shall set you free.
The truth. Follow the buzzards.
So, did you order the code red?
No.
Sorry.
No. I got to, and who be for pay-per-views, but still, Monday Night Raw is Jerry Lawler. Raw sucks anyway, and having your buddy there, texting with you when he's on the air.
Now you can't hang out there.
No, we got to watch Smackdown now.
Oh,
Ooh,
boy.
Smackdown.
I've been telling you to watch Smackdown. I feel like the matches keep getting better there.
Really?
Yeah. I watched it again this past week.
I'll watch it tomorrow because it's the first one for Thursday. They'll probably make it bigger.
Although last week Wade Barrett did lose to Sin Cara.
I already know what happens.
Yeah.
So.
Well, everybody knows what happens. Yeah. SmackDown was taped
That's why I don't watch it. Because I read the results Tuesday night. I'm like, am I going to watch this? Is it worth watching? Oh, Triple H has a promo. No.
Yeah.
No, terrible. Awful. But still, it's been bad. And now we're on the road to WrestleMania. It better get good at the Rumble. And I'm going to say this. I dislike Daniel Bryan.
You dislike him.
Now that he's back and he's wrestling, I just don't like...
You're over it.
I'm over Daniel Bryan. He's one of those guys that... Cool story for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He was champion. He made it. Now it's just like... Dude, come on. Shave and get on with it.
So who do you want in the Rumble winning this thing still?
You might have the Godfather going and win. Not Reigns.
We likely will see Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan come back next week, right?
Right, yeah.
One of them? I mean, still the internet is
Ziggler.
abuzz thinking Ziggler.
I mean, Ziggler is my choice. If I had to pick one guy, it's Ziggler. I don't want to see Bryan win it. I don't want to see Reigns win it, even though I think Reigns is going to win. It's going to be so bad. Have you seen the video, the Vine, of JR calling Roman Reigns grabbing a mic? He's like, don't do it. Don't do it. By God, he has a family. He's picking the Roman Reigns picked the mic up.
You know what I forgot to mention last week, though? Did you happen to see, because we love the Randy Orton RKO videos out of nowhere.
Right.
Did you happen to see that during the Florida State-Oregon game when Jameis Winston fell backwards, somebody did make a video?
Yes.
Randy Orton RKO.
They didn't capitalize on that, WWE. That was everybody. Everybody. If you didn't watch wrestling, you know that was the thing going
do you
on.
think Randy Orton returns at the Royal Rumble?
That's true, too. But could he win?
Sure, why couldn't he?
Orton versus Lesnar?
I think he gets a big pop.
The thing is, though, Cena's going to win.
The belt.
WWE put out like a press release for a...
there's been conflicting things on that.
There's a show out in somewhere, and it
Yeah.
said, "Come see WWE champion John Cena perform."
Right.
And then it's after the Rumble, so obviously.
But then there's also one for Fastlane, which is the next pay-per-view in Memphis, and it's a 4-man tag match.
Yeah.
And it's John Cena, Roman Reigns against Big Show and Seth Rollins, and John Cena is not advertised as a champion. So no idea.
I'm gonna miss the Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah,
That was I like that.
it's good.
I know the guys don't want to risk their bodies too much before WrestleMania and possibly get injured to miss that big paycheck. But
Sure.
I like that was a unique. Now
Why
you're
can't
gonna
that be after WrestleMania, though?
Well, because you had the Rumble, which is unique, happens once a year. Then you have Elimination Chamber, which happens once a year. It was kind of a special field to go to WrestleMania. Now you're going to have some crappy Fastlane pay-per-view in between the Rumble and WrestleMania. That doesn't do anything for me. Why don't we just take over the writing for wrestling?
We should.
Why does Vince Russo come back?
Because it's our turn. The McMahons are going to hate us right now. By the way, did you see Stephanie McMahon, how much she towered over Daniel Bryan?
That's why it's unbelievable. It's not believable as Daniel Bryan as a competitor.
And I'm not saying, listen, I know that I threw out there that Stephanie might have been pregnant at one point.
You did.
I did. But I'm not saying that she towers over him. Like, she, by no means does she look big or like a beast or anything. But she dwarfs Daniel Bryan. It was amazing when I was watching that. I was like,
and it's hard to believe that, Daniel Bryan can be some champion when you have a beast like Brock Lesnar, and then you have Stephanie McMahon, who can probably beat Daniel Bryan in a Divas match.
An evening gown match? Stephanie McMahon, Daniel Bryan.
Or a bra and panties match.
I don't want to see Daniel Bryan in a pair of panties. Although I guess it's not any
he's
different
wearing
than what he
tights.
wears
It's not
now.
different.
Yeah, I guess it's no different.
But-
I mean, Raw was not. It wasn't good.
No.
They're gonna have to work really hard. I mean, Royal Rumble people are gonna go to it. They're gonna watch it, so they'll be fine because it's a very unique thing. But it's Raw coming in is really gonna have to pick up and
Yeah,
pop.
there's something. There's no really. I mean, obviously you have the triple threat match, which was I think saved it with throwing Rollins in there. And I love how Rollins. And the only way that I like about Raw was the way it ended with Rollins. I love Rollins.
Yeah. I think all of this comes back to, which we've mentioned multiple times, and oddly enough, back on TV this week is TNA. But the problem is that Raw still doesn't have competition.
Right.
I think the thing that's terrible about TNA is that they're going to be on Destination America.
What?
Yeah.
What channel is that?
It's the Discover Network.
Oh.
You have to discover it. You have to figure out where it is.
It's like in the channel like 800 is way back.
Not every provider has it even. So I don't
bad.
know who's going to watch TNA.
Okay.
But I mean, they're trying. They're making their push. Kurt Angle's there. EC3, who was on the show.
Yeah.
Both Hardy Boys are there.
Oh.
Although, did you see what happened to Jeff Hardy?
Yeah, that wasn't a bad bump.
Dude's head bounced off the stairs.
He landed on his neck. He'll be fine.
Oh, God, that's
He
scary.
takes enough drugs. He doesn't feel it.
That was scary stuff,
Doesn't
man.
feel it.
For those who didn't see it, Jeff Hardy was involved in a cage match. The cage was swinging open. He was on the top. They hit him, fell in a compromising position, as they would say on every wrestling show.
Yeah.
And then was knocked off of the top of the cage and fell and smacked the back of his neck on the steps. To
Which
the ring.
weigh, according to Michael Cole, 2,000 pounds.
They weigh 2,000 pounds, according to the TLC and Stairs match, yes. Those are insane.
But TNA isn't even a competitor for WWE now. I mean, it's not even close. You're not going to bank on Kurt Angle.
You know how you know that WWE doesn't care? Because they allowed, on this past Monday Night Raw, advertising to be purchased by TNA and El Rey, Underground Wrestling?
Yeah, the
Or
Lucha.
the Lucha stuff?
Lucha Underground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. How cocky can you be? Just be like, yeah, sure, let them buy ad time. That's fine. Whatever.
It's our money. Did you like how WWE.com reportedly WWE is going to induct Macho Man?
Yeah, what was that?
That's like
I got a text message, a WWE text message that said,
they're trying to break their own news.
yeah, wait, I have to find it. Fill some time here.
But the thing is, though, they're trying to make you watch Raw. Oh, it might happen. No, it's going to happen. You don't tease that and not let it happen. But WWE.com is some alternative.
Here's my WWE text. Though not official, Macho Man Randy Savage expected to be announced tonight on Raw as the first inductee in the 2015 Hall of Fame class. Though not official? You're WWE telling me this. You don't know whether it's...
So what if they don't? What if they didn't do it?
If they didn't do it?
Oh, that was WWE.com that reported that. Sorry, not us. We didn't.
Well, I think that the reason they went that route, though, is because it leaked and it was blowing up on social media before WWE had even said anything.
Yeah.
So then they had to go that route, just like they do with every... I mean, obviously, Ziggler's not really fired, you know. It's the whole mystique.
You know what would be awesome if, like, Ziggler and, like, Ryback are doing, like, indie shows? That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Just
come on
random
out.
indie shows.
I'd go see him at AIW.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
It's random shows here and there, and got Ryback wrestling there. And they're wrestling as their WWE persona, like, as Ryback.
As their characters.
But Ryback is spelled R-Y-E. Ryback. You got Dolph Ziggler with an extra R.
Ziggler. Yeah.
But yeah, they're not. I mean, I don't know that fired. I'm not stupid.
Dorf Ziggler. I don't know.
What do you think about the triple threat match for the WWE Tag Team titles for Rumble? I think that was on SmackDown. They're going to announce it. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Oh man.
Usos versus Miz and Mizdow.
And Goldust and Stardust.
Yeah,
the same match we just had, which was on SmackDown last week.
Basically.
But was an entertaining match again. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You got to do that.
Yeah.
You got to have the tag match in there. But I just don't know. Have we seen it? Have we seen?
We've seen enough.
All those. Yeah.
Not of tag teams, man. What do you think about the Ascension? Do you like those guys?
No.
I love how they're bringing in local jobbers, like the old days.
Yeah.
Guys you never heard of. They get no entrance. They're just in the ring. We should be. When
they're
they come to
beating them
Cleveland, can you and I be the jobbers?
Absolutely.
Oh, come on.
Good. I get beat up.
Bring me. Do whatever you got. You want.
I like Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, that pairing.
Yeah.
It's time to kind of give them a push. Although they're feuding with the New Day.
New Day is terrible.
New Day, old story. Yeah.
This term nation
Same
domination.
guys.
Nation and domination. Some kind of.
That's not a positive spin.
I know it's PG, but come on.
We are the nation.
And what's with the handkerchief for Big E when he comes out waving that thing? What is that?
Because he wipes his brow because he's sweating, like a minister.
They all sweat.
Yeah.
What makes him special with the hanky?
I don't know, because he's got that very preachery voice.
The tag team division.
All
needs
the
help.
people, and I'm a Biggie Langston.
And they're jeez, they're gonna
I just
kill
ruined my
yourself.
voice.
But Big E is great.
He's great.
I think he's good. He's good in the ring.
He's just big.
Kofi is just Kofi. And Xavier Woods, I don't think deserves to be in WWE ring at all.
I will look forward to what Kofi brings to the Royal Rumble again this year, though.
Ah, yes. The
Always
Kofi
something.
spot.
Always something.
Maybe he'll be like, maybe Big E will get eliminated and Kofi gets knocked off onto Big E's shoulders.
He's like standing on his shoulders.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
he
that
hops
could be
off.
fun.
That could be something. I had nothing for you. Maybe he grabs Big E's handkerchief and stands on it outside the ring. He's not officially touching the ground. He's on the handkerchief.
That's too much.
He's sliding into the ring.
Too much.
Got to come up with something. He did the handstand. He did the stairs. He did the chair. He did someone off someone else's body. He did the ring, the barrier from the fans. He's done it all. What else
Jumps
is
from
there?
the barrier to the steps.
What else is there?
I don't know.
Has to be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't got it. Any other news you want to talk about? It's kind of a slow week with news, other than Macho Man and the announce team and Raw. It was terrible.
Really
you gonna watch
is.
SmackDown tomorrow? You gonna watch it? Even though you know what happens.
Not live. I will not watch it. I'll watch it on Hulu maybe on Friday. Still waiting for the Sting story to pick up. You hear some rumors that Sting is going to be a part of the bringing back of Ziggler, Ryback, and Rowan.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if that happens. Maybe we see Sting on Raw next week.
Something has to happen with Sting. You got to bring him into the fold.
Sooner than later. Well, they're still talking about Undertaker maybe making it for WrestleMania 31. Bray Wyatt, Undertaker.
Yeah, Bray's the main guy that they want the Undertaker to wrestle. So, yeah, I can see that. But
is the Undertaker going to be ready? Have you seen these sickly pictures of him?
Maybe. I mean,
he looks terrible.
I mean, he dyes his hair black like he always does. He looks like the old Undertaker.
I guess, but he does not. I mean, he looks awful.
Yeah.
He looks like his body is being eaten
That's my
away.
prediction from last week. He's not going to wrestle this year. Take a year off. It's going to be Bray versus Dean Ambrose for the 100th time.
No, I think they're done with it. They had the ambulance match, which was not good.
They'll do something.
And they'll go from there. What else happened on Raw? Oh, hey, don't forget Naomi had her hand tied behind her back.
Really?
That was exciting. This is our most depressing episode we've done yet.
This is bad, dude, because Raw's bad. We started off strong with Macho Man. Macho Man was great. And then you go to freaking, Jerry. I'm upset about that already. Raw is terrible.
Let's talk about the Lucha Underground.
No,
then.
I don't know anything with the Lucha Underground.
Well, it's going to be Lucha, guys.
You got CM Punk going to pick his gym. He's going to be training now.
For MMA.
So I watched that interview he did with that guy from Canada with his I forget the guy's name. He does like all the wrestling interviews for The Score, I think it is.
Okay.
And CM Punk called him out saying like, you're all nice to me off the air, but when you come on the air, you're trying to get all these questions in and try to get me to say something. He said on the air, CM Punk's drinking coffee. He's like talking to people off the camera and stuff. And the guy's like, you're being rude, dude. Like CM Punk's like, I don't like you. Which is great. CM Punk's a jerk.
Oh, Phil.
But that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But other than that, do you think Lesnar's going to go back to UFC after WrestleMania?
I think his job's just so cushy in the WWE right now. He doesn't have to worry about getting hurt as bad as he would in UFC.
Right.
The money's better.
He sits around with a title.
Yeah.
Up in freaking Minnesota. Doesn't do anything. Gets paid. Bank.
Why not stay in WWE?
I don't know, because he's not a guy that is ready just to sit around and do nothing.
Apparently he is.
Well, maybe
or he wouldn't have done this. He would restructure his contract and be like, "Hey,
he is allowed to
show up more."
He is allowed to show up more. They restructured it so he can show up more.
Well, he doesn't do it,
which is terrible because the 30-day clause of the WWE Championship has expired.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's awful. All right. What was your This Is Awesome moment of the week?
It didn't exist.
There is none.
There was none.
Macho Man.
Macho Man. That is true.
The video package was kind of tearful.
Yeah. It was cheesy. I was watching that, and I just thought... I thought about the people that they have in WWE now, and this is why a Macho Man gets inducted. You look at all the colorful outfits and everything, but the personality... Mm-hmm. It's a personality that just transcends all of those. I mean, if Macho Man was around now, still being Macho Man, I think he still would be super popular, and people would eat it up and love it.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where an Adam Rose needs to take note, or WWE needs to take note and be like, okay, this Adam Rose character is not working. I think Ziggler kind of does it well. He's colorful. Macho Man he was one in a million. It was awesome.
It was simple, Macho Man, and he came out and he stood out and you recognized
lavish
that.
Outfits.
Yeah, you recognized
but with high energy in a different way that the Ultimate Warrior was high energy.
But his promos were legendary.
Yeah,
you have promos nowadays. These guys
so goofy.
These guys aren't allowed the amount of time like they did in the past. And Hogan would nail it. Jake the Snake, all these different guys would nail their promos. Roddy Piper, Macho Man, nail it. These guys now, Roman Reigns can't talk. Cena's promos are terrible. Triple H puts me to sleep.
Well, people are writing them for them, which stinks.
But because they're not good enough anyway to be on their own. If they did on their own,
I guess all right. So here's some news. We talked about this a little bit last week. I touched on it. That Vince McMahon has been writing Roman Reigns promos, and
is that even true?
I have been reading even more about it.
What websites do you read? Come on.
This is on Cage Side Seats. This is on Bleacher Report. This is on PWI. I mean, all of them. Wrestling Observer.
I'll give a shout out to Cage Side because they really pumped our interview with Seth Rollins.
You appreciate that.
Yeah.
But it's not going. Obviously, not going well. I mean, SmackDown. He said, "You son of a suffering succotash," and told Seth Rollins that he had donkey dung.
He's the new face of WWE for years to come.
If Vince wrote that, I really think. I mean, I know somebody else is running it at this point because the words that he got out when he said "suffering succotash," I think there was a brief moment where it was off the cuff, and he just goes, "Yeah, I can't believe I got all that out either."
You know, there is. I'm big on Reddit, and I was reading some of the Reddits about Roman Reigns. Someone said Roman Reigns is not going to be the face of the WWE. He is going to be like Diesel. He's going to be a transitional guy until another guy steps up. He's going to be just like a Diesel. He's going to be champion. Nobody will care. He won't be over as big as the Bret the Hitman Hart was, or a Shawn Michaels was back when Diesel was around. He's not going to be as big as John Cena. He'll be hot for like a year, be champion, and then fizzle out.
But you need him to be awesome, I think.
But he's not. He can't do his promos.
Some people backstage apparently think that if he was on his own, he is actually solid at promos. Believe it or not.
I can't see that. There's guys that, like Ziggler, you can tell it's natural to him.
Yeah.
Even though his promos are somewhat scripted, he's a natural on the mic. Some guys have it, some guys don't. Even if you let Roman Reigns go, no, there's no chance that he can do well, and it turns me off. Daniel Bryan is terrible on the mic.
They need him to do well. The WWE is at a point now where they need to gravitate to a guy, and not just one guy, multiple guys, and try to move forward, but do it successfully. Not move forward and then back off. Move forward and back off. Yeah. Because John Cena's days are numbered. Yeah, he's in good shape, but I mean, guy's 35, 36. Can't keep carrying it. You can ride this Dolph Ziggler train right now, and that's great, but you need another big guy that you can just roll the dice with it and continue, because you need, we've talked about this before off of here, you need the great rivalries. Yeah. You had Stone Cold and The Rock, but then also they had Triple H going with them, plus The Undertaker. So many huge stars out of that era. And now we look back, and yeah, you had Macho Man, and you had Hulk Hogan, and you had The Ultimate Warrior. And then, oh, by the way, they had this great villain in Jake the Snake Roberts. Yeah. And then, oh, by the way, this other great villain comes in The Undertaker. Andre the Giant before that. So there's always multiple people for them to feed off of. And as much as I can't stand the fact that they keep going back to John Cena, I get it. I see it. Who are you going to push forward with? Brock Lesnar's showing up once every 2 months. You can't push forward with him on that. Not
full time. You can't do a full time program with Brock Lesnar. And it takes two to tango. You're gonna have Roman Reigns, but you need someone to pair him up, like you said. We might not like John Cena, but him and Orton were the main guys for X amount of years.
Yeah.
In main events. Obviously Orton's time is a little bit past. I think he still has a good run in him left in him, but I think you need just as good as the main face as a bad guy. And
that's why, I would like to see them go back to Rollins and Ambrose yet again. I hope that at Royal Rumble, Dean Ambrose somehow costs Seth Rollins the match, that we just go right back into that.
Yeah.
Because those are two guys, man, they could go at it forever. It'd be great.
You know what I want to see? I want to see the final three in the Royal Rumble be Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns. How about that?
But would Rollins be in it if he's going to be in the championship match?
What if he loses?
I don't know. I guess it's happened before.
Guys who have lost their match earlier tonight, they enter back in the Rumble.
It has happened before.
That'd
Not
be
many
great
times. usually the loser
True.
is not a part of it.
But I would like to see that triple threat match happen sometime soon. My prediction: SummerSlam.
It's SummerSlam.
Yeah, triple threat match.
For the title.
Not even for. Well, probably since probably Rollins.
There is some rumors of turning Dean Ambrose heel.
So you have.
I don't know how you do it because he essentially was a heel and people just loved him. He's like
can't.
one of those guys. He's a Stone Cold
Yeah.
and The Rock kind of heel.
Right.
You can make him the bad guy and people will boo a little bit, but they're going to still end up loving him because he's so entertaining to watch.
Yeah,
he
he's
just
fun.
is.
It's just bad to watch. So we got to see what happens next week. Rumble. Are we going to have a guest next week?
Are we?
Are we? Is Mr.
We're working on it.
Mr. Miami going to be on the show?
We're working on it. Yeah,
All right.
it's
Next
working on
week
Mr.
we'll
Miami.
be previewing the Rumble. We should know who else should be in the Rumble. We'll predict who of the alumni will come back. There's always a few guys that come back.
Yeah.
So we'll give our predictions for those. We'll talk about the Rumble, give our predictions for the pay-per-view, and the road to WrestleMania will officially begin here on the This Is Awesome. You going to this year?
California. It's going to be tough.
I'm going to Florida that week.
Trying to figure it out.
I'm not going to be going this year.
Where are your priorities, Glenn?
Florida, man. I'm not really big. I'm not excited like I usually am. Maybe we'll see. I'm always last minute with WrestleMania. If something big happens, maybe I'll make the trip. But San Fran is far away.
It is far from
I would
Ohio.
drive. You want to drive? We should do it. We should drive together. Do a show the whole way.
I have a buddy who said we could take his Tesla and
You serious?
yeah, and he wants our group of like 3 or 4 to still drive out there. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man.
If I get out there, I mean, I'm good for WrestleMania and Raw. Like I am tickets. Like another pay for anything. So
oh
I'm good.
yeah. Well, maybe not Raw anymore.
Jerry will still be there. That's right. I love Jerry. All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep, this is what came to a standstill
Yeah.
real fast.
Final thoughts, sir.
My final thoughts. I'd like to apologize to all of our great This Is Awesome wrestling show listeners because Glenn was in a bad mood today, and he took it out on you because Jerry Lawler got taken off.
I apologize to Mr. McMahon. and
It was
Stephanie
that was a
McMahon
great promo.
for all these rumors that you're throwing around, all these allegedly
You cut such a great promo about Jerry Lawler. If people would have been in the room to see how animated you were, I just wish they.
You know what? I'm gonna propose AIW a match. Moore versus Guy.
Oh, for AIW? Are you listening, AIW?
Steel cage match.
I would love for us to get. That's what we need to work on.
We should do that.
If anybody from AIW is listening, we need an AIW guy. I feel like on
Yeah.
here.
I
we
love
would
Johnny.
love for an AIW
Johnny
guy.
Wrestling. Just have him come
Johnny
on.
Gargano.
Let's have
Yeah,
him come on. In studio.
the original Johnny Cleveland.
You know, we should do something with AIW. We're gonna try to do something.
Yeah. So if you're
Somewhere
listening,
I'm gonna-
AIW, you
I'm
hit
gonna
us
turn
up.
heel.
Or you hit up CLE Sound.
You're gonna come out in the ring, do a little stand up, do some comedy. I'm gonna come out with a chair behind you. And
Just bash me.
chair.
I gotta pick somebody to be on my side. Then
It's true.
we'll be managers for people. That's what we'll do.
It's true.
We'll have
This is great.
whatever, like how Vince and Donald Trump got to pick their guys.
Oh, loser has to shave their beard.
Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna still have my beard by that point. But we'll see.
All right, you guys listen to us on iTunes. All our shows are on iTunes. Go back. All our great interviews: Jerry the King Lawler, EC3, Seth Rollins, our biggest, highly downloaded show.
It was a great interview.
Great,
too.
it's almost 10,000 downloads.
You
for
should listen to it
Seth
again,
Rollins
everyone.
interview. Yeah, you should. Great interview talking about CM Punk wrestling and him mentally as a professional wrestler. We're not, like I said, iTunes. Go ahead, subscribe to us. Let's look up This Is Awesome Wrestling Show on Twitter. Glenmore CLE.
The Steve Guy. Oh, also, if anybody wants to come get your ha-has in, I'll be at the Roxino in Northfield Park
Ooh,
this weekend. Saturday, 2 shows, and 1 on Sunday evening. Come on out.
let you go in the green room for that.
I get to go in the green.
You, yeah,
Yeah, I
You
get
do?
free
They let you
water,
in?
free soda.
free water and soda.
It's amazing.
Wow, you get your own bathroom too.
Own bathroom.
God,
you
you're
can
a
like
celebrity.
shower and change your room if you
You're a
want.
celebrity.
I don't shower there. It's gross.
Yeah,
I am a celebrity.
You
I'm
are.
kind of big. Kind of a big deal. I was in
Alright.
Cleveland Magazine. Not my picture, but they said my
picture
name.
Yeah, check us out, Cleveland Magazine. This month's issue. Go check it out. This Is Awesome Wrestling Show is in there. CLE Sound, the whole network is in there. Some great shows. Check it out. CLESound.com. CLE Sound on Twitter, Facebook. Look us up. We're doing some big things here in Cleveland. And also, I want to get ourselves involved with the local wrestling scene. We got to do a match. Somehow, some way this year, you and I are going to be stepping toe-to-toe in a ring.
You going to take a bump?
Heck yeah, I'll take a bump. I'll take a chair shot. Bring it on.
I used to do this stuff when I was a kid, man.
Let's do it.
Drywall.
Let's do it.
Getting bashed with drywall.
And then the double count out. Nobody wins, but nobody loses.
Can we do the double clothesline and we just get...
That'd be great. Can't wait. All right. We'll see you guys next week as we preview the Royal Rumble. We'll talk to you next week here on CLEsound.com.
Good night, everybody.